Go live. Oh shit, I didn't tweet about it. I did nothing. But we are live officially. Pretty sure. Yep, I got the notification saying that we're live. Please, in the chat, let me know if you can hear my boy Zilix. He's here with me today. Ready to talk about this week 4 that practically didn't happen. That's funny. Alright. I think everything looks fine from my end. I just want to know if somebody can let me know in the chat if everything looks good. If you can hear Zilix, and then we should be good to go. Also, no face cam today because my ceiling light decided to go out, and I wasn't gonna get and deal with it right now because I got a little lazy, and so I just said fuck it. I'm just not gonna have a face cam today because I don't have a lamp here in this office room yet. Eventually, if I get one, then I'll just use that for better lighting, hopefully, than my ceiling fan. It's just one of those things where you're just like, do I really have to do this now? The thing is that I have never had to change the lights in this house ever since I bought it. So I don't even know what kind of light bulbs this thing uses. Because it's not like in the typical ceiling lights where it's multiple individual light bulbs that are beaming out. It just looks like one whole circular one. So I don't know. I'd have to check. I have to like literally get up there to the fan and take it apart, figure out what the fuck is going on. Yeah, so that'll be fun. That's one of the funs of being a homeowner, you know. Just a bunch of shit all the time. Everything's always a mess. And then you're the one that has to deal with it because it's your fucking house. But there's pros and cons to renting and owning a house. That's all I'm gonna say. Do you own your house, Zilix? I don't remember. Or are you renting? You own your house. Okay, see? So he's in the same boat as I am. When you are renting, you can be like, hey, landlord, this shit's not working. Fix it. And then they fix it for you. But when you own your house, you can't, nobody's going to bail you out. You got to do it yourself. So. Right. No, we don't have that luxury, do we, Zillies? We don't have somebody to bail us out. We got to do it all ourselves. Get there, get dirty. Right. More than yourself. No, I feel you. I think the only things that, right now the only things I think I've done myself in this house is, what did we do? We did something. We said, I don't remember what it was, but most of it has been outsourced. We have, well, I don't know how do you have a yard that you maintain or no? Okay. Yeah. Right. So we have. Oh, you can't hear the other. You can't hear them. Hold on. Hold on. Thank you for letting me know. See, this is why we get this done before we start the actual fucking stream, man. Okay, can you talk real quick, Zelix? I want to see.
Hello, testing.
Is it not transitioning over? Can you let me know if you can hear him now? Should be able to hear. If not, I might have to just add your thing to the other scene. Let me see. There's always a little delay, so I'm waiting to get a response, making sure that you're there. Yeah. I do apologize if you guys are not hearing. I'm trying to get this worked out. I'm still getting used to streaming because I took a break. Okay, you can hear him now. Perfecto. But yeah, so following what you said, so we actually pay for someone who maintains our yard, and we have palm trees in my house, so they also maintain that. So they come in, you know, for the grass itself, like maintaining the lawn and everything, they come in once a month, and for like making sure the palm trees are all, you know, take out the dead leaves and shit like that, they come in every like 2.5 months or so, just to get them all to. So that's something that if you were living somewhere else, well, maybe they'd have somebody that does it for you. But when you own the house, you gotta pay for that out of your pocket. But you have an HOA. Wait, do you pay the HOA or do they just? Okay.
They to help like promote jobs in like bricklaying, they passed a law that like all the streets would have these like Belgian blocks everywhere,
Okay.
which it's stuff like that where they make aesthetic choices that are tied to like the local economics as well.
Okay.
But yeah, it's usually funded through taxpayer dollars or to incentivize like other businesses to bring their business to the area.
Got it. All right. Well, since everything is good, I'm pretty sure none of you guys want to keep hearing us complain about owning our own houses when there's a fucking housing shortage out there in the U.S. right now. Nobody can fucking own a house because shit's expensive as hell. I'm surprised. Let's see. We've been here a little over 2 years now. So I think we it took us like a year to find a house. So, and I'm pretty sure you had your house for longer. But I know we know there's a housing crisis, so I'm pretty sure nobody wants to hear us, you know, complaining about the fact that we do own houses at our ages when people are struggling, you know. But like, sorry, mortgages are also a pain. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay, so
Yeah,
game
pain
plan
is
for.
perspective, you know.
Wait, what?
I said pain is perspective, you
Oh,
know.
yeah.
If
Yes,
you
it
have a
is.
house, you complain you don't have one. You have a house, you complain it's expensive.
Yes.
It's all it all
That is
comes
very
around.
true.
But yeah, Pokemon.
Pokemon. So, context. As I was telling Zoe right before I kicked off the stream, um, people were very bad this last week because I'm pretty sure, like, I checked and I validated everything. And I can confidently say I think I'm the only one that had a battle for week 4, and I'm very excited about that. I even put it in the chat. I'm like, hey, everybody's basically missing their matches from week 4. The only one I'm giving a pass still is Jack because, as I think I mentioned in the first stream when I was with Zilix, is that he was in a car accident and he still has caught up to week 2. Um, so, and I think actually he might have had week 3. Let me see. I'm pretty sure. Let me see. No, he's still missing his week 3, but he caught up at least 2 weeks. And I told him, hey, you take all the time you need, buddy. Yoder, I think he was also in the accident, but so he's also catching up with some of his battles. I think he actually had his battle this week or week 3, so he's basically caught up except for week 4. And they're gonna have that match in a couple days, and then Jack is slowly getting back into the groove of things. But I'm just saying, everybody else doesn't have an excuse. Okay, why the fuck was I the only one that had a fucking battle this week? It's pathetic. That's all I'm gonna say. So I don't know if Zilix actually wants to go through my battle with me here, because I haven't made my video yet, anyways. So I know that that's like next time I play. I technically didn't have my battle until like Tuesday because I wasn't able to get with the person, and they told me that Tuesday would be a good day. So I technically still had my battle behind schedule as well, but at least I got it fucking done. So, like I said, I don't know if Zillick wants
Yeah,
to go over it.
we can go over it.
Okay, so I actually already opened it up, so I can open it. I want to say this battle was fun. I will admit, the end game, I am still a little salty that. Oops, I did not want to do that. I think we'll get there. We'll do that, and I'm trying to zoom in a little bit more. There we go. Nice and big for all you peoples to watch. Okay. So, I will admit, I did have a lot of fun in this battle, and I did make a misplay near the end that I already caught myself after the battle. Okay, this was like post-match analysis on my end without actually making the video yet. I know where I made a misplay, and that basically cost me the game. Although there was a way for me to win at the end anyways, but if I played it a little bit differently, that's the way to go. Anyway, so I'm gonna do. I never have the fucking sound on this shit, so I'm gonna play it off. Do you want me to just let the match go and then you give your pointers and stuff like that, or how do you want to do this one, Felix?
Yeah, I mean that works. Just have it
Okay.
playing, and then do you have the link for the replay as well? So
Oh, sure. Let me get that for you. Give it to you real quick. Copy and then post it in the. Do you want me to send it to you directly through the DM?
Sure, that works.
There we go. And there you go.
All right.
Okay.
All right, I have it.
Perfect.
So I guess a good introductory question, since you said you didn't make your video yet. What were you expecting to see from this battle?
Okay, so my biggest concern was the E-Speed Dragonite, which is why I have this gimmicky ass Bramble Gas set. Which when you watch the battle, you're gonna notice why it's fucking gimmicky as hell. And it literally only works in this context. Never in a million years would it ever work again with any other matchup. Okay, so when you see that set, you're gonna be like, okay, yeah, I know what the fuck Sorsan is doing here. That was concern number one. because yes, I have steel types, but the standard like DD E-Speed Dragonite is always Earthquake, so that's never going to be good for any of my steel types. And then the other concern I had was Crocodile, because as you mentioned when we did our draft analysis, ground types fuck my shit up, so that was always going to be a contentions for me. So those were the main two things I was worried about. I actually wasn't as scared of Bundle as I should have been, because the team that I have does really well against Bundle as a concept. It can't use water moves because of Ogerpon, and its ice moves are dealt with by practically every steel type I have. So that was the only thing that I didn't have to worry about. Like out of all of his bonds, I think that was the one that I wasn't scared of at all, because I have switch-ins for it in nauseam. I think basically most of my bonds deal with Bundle in some way, shape, or form, which is weird to say because Bundle is fucking crazy.
Yeah, Bundle can be quite the problem for a lot of teams.
Yeah. So, but aside from that, like I said, my main concerns were the Terra Normal, E-Speed, D Knight, and the any item Crocodile he could bring, realistically speaking. That was my mindset going into this match. Like those are my biggest concerns going into it. I don't know if there's anything else that you think might have been a concern or I should have been worried about, but
no, I think that's pretty fair, yeah. Because the Dragonite with the right set, especially in Draft League, when you can really pick apart what your opponent has to deal with it defensively, it obviously creates situations where, and you were even saying with the Bramble Gas set, where you might have to run something a little unorthodox to reliably deal with something like that. Because, like, standard D-Dance, Earthquake, Extreme Speed, plus one other move can provide a lot of coverage and be very threatening.
Yeah. So you got the replay ready. I have the replay started. I'm just gonna let it rip, and then I can actually mention when my fuck up was, and then you'll understand why I knew it was a fuck up when I did it. And honestly, it all stems from the fact that I confirmed that it was fucking Terra Normal D Knight. So I'm gonna let it play. I'm gonna let it rip. By the way, Screamtail is fucking awesome. I am actually really enjoying it as a Pokemon. It does so much that I wasn't expecting. So Zilix, you really sold me on it when you were talking to me about it. It does so many cool things.
I'm a big fan of Screamtail.
So, I did get upset because I fucking okay. Like you'll notice when I got pissed when it fucking happened, because my Screamtail could have fucking won me this game, but he fucking crit me at a point. But you guys will see it later. Also, this there was this funny moment in this interaction. I got Sap Sipper on my fucking Gudra because of the stupid Servine and the Electrode. I was like, there's no way in hell I'm gonna risk getting hit by a grass move. And then, this Zen was talking about this one in the chat. We went into like a freeze paralysis thing for a couple turns, which was funny. Nothing got done for like 4 turns or some shit like that. Maybe it was 5. I don't remember. No, it was 4 turns where it was just freeze paralysis, freeze paralysis, freeze paralysis. It was hilarious. Dude, Ogerpon is so fucking cool. Such a cool one.
I had a battle recently where my opponent missed 3 Will-O-Wisp and 4 Focus Blasts, and I felt quite bad. But that is why I never rely on any of those moves.
Right. Look at that Screamtail tanking. Like, damn, bruh. Screamtail's good. This is why I'm so mad. That thing should have tanked every one of his fucking moves. And he got fucking critted by bundle. I was so mad about that.
Yeah, the fact that Screamtail, it can just come in and take a hit from basically anything and then pass a wish off is just, it's so reliable.
Yeah. Oh, that was a goated play right there. That body press on Crook.
Aside from, getting crit.
Yeah.
But
Oh, and their Ogre always comes in clutch. 32% when Ivy cut to him. I think it's broken. Also, his wheezing was annoying as hell, but because it's pain split shenanigans. I don't remember. I think I didn't have that much attack on Gudra. Now that I remember, that's probably why this thing wasn't doing so hot. Like I should have killed this wheezing way faster, but trying to make plays that aren't necessary. I should just kill this thing way sooner. But it is what it is. I think I was trying to prevent the Crook from ever coming in freely. That's what it was. That's why I went for body presses at the wrong turns and shit like that. And the paralysis was always annoying as hell. But it is what it is. I think at this point I was very much ahead in the battle. Look at that, tanking a bundle ice beam, 32%. That's nothing. Straight up nothing. I think what did I switch into? Oh yeah, I sacked my Gudra here because Oh, this was the turn. Okay, this is where it all fucking happened. I was so upset. Look at that. Fucking crit me. I would have easily lived 2 of those. I had to then sack my Gudra to this goddamn bundle. And then this was the most obvious fucking shit ever. Terra Electric Wild Charge. Iron Treads. Choice Scarf. How did he not predict this? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, it kind of, you might be thinking you're in a commanding position where Bundle just Okos everything from that point. Yeah. But then maybe you just thought the game was over, and then that happens. You get one tap.
I don't know. At this point, he knew obviously I was scarfed, so and I don't know why he went up Dragon. Okay, so this is where you're gonna see my cringy ass Bramble Gas set. You're gonna be like, Soresan, what the fuck is this shit? Bringing back the infestation from my old Kafagus days, and then on top of that, fucking straight snap.
I mean, hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
And then on top of that, I got fucking Leech Seed shit. This Dragonite.
Is there Leech? There's Leech Seed. Heard. Just full residual damage.
It's fucking hilarious. This was the
whatever you gotta do to take down the Titan.
Yeah, so this was hilarious. Like he can't hit me with E-Speed because I'm a Ghost type and I'm a Grass type, which means Earthquake isn't doing shit. So that's what's funny. And then do a little bit of chip on Heatran, trying to get some damage in here. I think my Ogerpon was okay, so this is where I made the misplay. Okay. I sacked my Ogerpon. Oh, hold on. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I'll be right back. Hold on 1 second, people. people, I'm back. Sorry about that. Something happened in the kitchen, so I have to go rush and check what's going on. Okay, so this is what I meant. Like, this is where I made my misplay. Because at this point, I knew I walled the Dragonite with my Bramblegast. So, wait, Zilix, can you hear me still? I want to make sure that.
Yep.
Okay. So I'm gonna put a little blame on Zen for this one because when we were doing our testing, he had Terra Flying Dragonite. So he had me put fucking Murkrow in this shit so that I would have, Haze available at all times, right? Prankster Haze is always good. So, but as soon as I noticed that the Dragonite can't touch my Bramblegast, no matter what happens, there's no reason for me to keep Murkrow anymore because I don't need the Haze for it. He doesn't have setup on Crocodile, and he doesn't have setup on Heatran, and the only other thing that Murkrow has is probably Thunder Wave, but realistically speaking, I don't need to click that on anything because of everything else I have on the team. So right here, I should have just sacked the Murkrow instead of my Ogerpon and then switch into Ogerpon, and that's a free hit on anything. Like no matter what, Ogerpon's always an easy, it's always a good one to keep to the end game. So that was my fault. Okay, I acknowledge this was a really, really bad play. In hindsight, okay, I should not have done this. I should not have sacked this beautiful creature. This awesome Pokemon that actually is able to basically destroy 2 of his last remaining mons by himself. Or herself, technically speaking, because Ogerpon's always female. Like, why? Like I said, this was a hindsight thing that I should have picked up on. It's a normal Terra Dragonite that can't touch my Bramblegast. I don't need Murkrow. Okay? I don't need it. If I sacked it there, this battle, I actually could have won this because I did lose. Spoiler, I did lose this battle. But, and it's only because of 50-50s at the end of the match. Because it was still close. But it would have been much easier for me to win had I sacked my Murkrow in this turn. That's all I'm going to say. I said there was no reason to sack Ogerpon there at all. So Ogerpon goes down. I go into Treads, and then he reveals to Protect, which then makes it. He reveals Protect, which means I have to switch out because he protected. So and then Screamtail goes down, and then I go back into Treads, and then I go for the Earthquake here, which means he's gonna switch into Dragonite. And this is where it turned into like a 50-50s back and forth all the time. Because I am choice, or I am scarfed, so it's always going to be a nuisance that way. I predicted the trend to come back in, so I switched into Treads. And at this point, I'm literally just going to spam Earthquake all the time. Literally. Every single turn, I'm going to do this play. And I think I made... Yeah, okay, so this was... Now that you're seeing this part, and I'm going to probably talk about this when I make the actual video, because I'm going to go into more details on everything. He was calling me out in the chat afterwards about this particular play here, saying that it was a bad play, because if he Earthquaked my Treads there with Dragonite, I would have lost a lot easier. However, I have to be aggressive here, okay? I can't. I'm already on the back foot because I lost my Ogerpon, which is the biggest threat I have aside from my Treads, and I lost my wall Screamtail. Okay. Again, I have Murkrow. I should have sacked it there as well and done something else. My point still stands. I needed to be aggressive here, so I knew he wasn't going to stay in because he's going to predict me to switch into, my Bramblegast here. So this was the appropriate play because of what was going on in the battle at the time. If it had been in any other situation, obviously I wouldn't have made the play that I did. But considering I was already behind because the remaining mons I have are not good against Heatran the way they are. Um, I had to make this aggressive play here. So this is for Panda. If you watch the stream later, if you watch the playback, okay, that's my point. That's what I was trying to convey. Maybe I wasn't clear enough in the chat, but I had to make the aggressive play here because I was already behind. So if I did an Earthquake here and I switched into Brambleghast, I basically lost. I mean, I still lost at the end, but I needed to do this play. I don't know if Zilix agrees with that, but that was my mindset.
No, yeah, I think if you're already on like a back foot, trying to make the safer play may usually just net you a greater loss, or just it removes the chance of winning.
Yeah.
Whereas sometimes, you're backed into a corner, you start to require like greater risks to secure a potential victory.
Exactly. So Crook is dead. And then this is literally where the 50-50 start happening because he goes in Dragonite. I go into Brambleghast, and then we go into this like back and forth, like, oh, like, am I gonna switch? And like I said, I always clicked Earthquake on treads at this point. I didn't feel the need to click anything else. I finally sacked my Murkrow here, which is fucking dumb. After all this, I finally sacked my Murkrow. I don't even remember what the fuck I did with it afterwards. Oh, I think I was just letting it die. That's what I did. That's what it was. And like I said, if he had gotten paralyzed at any point, or if I made different plays here and there, then this would have been different. So like I said, at this point it became a 50-50 of what I was going to do. I'm trying to catch this Heatran. He's always going to go for Protect. If he ever got paralyzed on one of those Protects, I think I would have won as well. Because then you can't do anything about it. And like I said, at this point, I'm not clicking anything but Earthquake. But I'm also not letting this Dragonite set up on me. Because... Did I switch here? No, I didn't switch here. But yeah, at this point, it was basically over. Because he just goes for Earth Power here, and I die. So, like I said, if Ogerpon was alive, this would have been different. But unfortunately, it's not the way it was. And I did lose 2-0. And there we go. That's that. That's a wrap. As I said, my biggest misplay is letting Ogerpon die when I did. Outside of that, that's pretty much... that's all. That's basically all that needed to happen.
Yeah, but still a pretty narrow battle in the end. And quite a long one as well at 70 turns. So it's hard to make all the right calls, especially over a battle of that length. But yeah, I definitely see what you're saying, where had the Ogerpon been preserved, it could have been that additional pivot in this situation where you're basically just... you need to get an attack on Heatran, but you can't easily do so when he has Protect, and then you're Scarfed, and he can just go into the immunity every time.
Yeah. It also didn't help that he crit my Scream Tail, but that's a story for another time. We don't need to talk about that. Or do we? That was so upsetting. I easily like 2 more of those fucking Ice Beams. I was so fucking upset.
That's Pokemon.
I know, right? He gets a crit on me, and he paralyzed me for ages on my Goodra, and I can't get a paralyze on his fucking Protect, so I get Earthquake at the death. That would have been justice right there. But Pokemon is never fair. It's always lopsided. I don't know, Zilix. I'm letting you do it. I don't want to talk too much about it because that's what the video is going to be about. If there's any point,
Yeah, I
if
think
there's anything you wanted to talk about this battle in particular.
I mean, aside from the hacks, I think the prep for dealing with the Dragon Knight was pretty good. You may have obviously unknowing at the time, but you did end up sort of backing yourself into a corner with the scarf on the treads. I think maybe um honestly, I don't even really know what you do about bundle aside from like trying to paralyze it or something with uh Murkrow,
Yeah.
and then that would give you freedom to not have to run Choice Scarf.
I
But
could have also run
even then, it's not
Booster.
the yeah, it's not the most reliable. But yeah, booster energy could have been good. Although I think like booster energy, you kind of give away like immediately that you're gonna outspeed,
Right.
and then you lose that surprise factor.
That is true.
But yeah, the late games of matches like this that go on for an extended period, and you both have decent answers to each other's offensive threats, it does open up the windows for misplays, for hacks to give someone else the edge. That is the conclusion. But I think all around, it was a pretty good match, and
Yeah.
I think it's one that it'll definitely be worth hearing your like full analysis of it whenever you end up making a video.
Yeah. So that's basically the only battle that happened for week 4. So we don't have any other replays to show you guys. Hopefully, these people get in gear and start making some fucking battles happen. For finally get some fucking names in the board. Because look at that, everything's fucking empty. So, I guess we could talk about week 5. Let's see who we got. We got Panda, who's the one that beat me versus Jack. I don't know if that's gonna happen because Jack is still catching up. Then there's Dork versus me. There's Khan versus Zen. Q1 has the bye this week. Anarchy versus Zach. Sonic versus Mudkip. And AIDS versus Yodeler. Let's see. Khan is the Chimpao team. Oh! There we go. Khan, the current undefeated. He has the best record out of everybody so far. He still hasn't had his week 4 battle, which is against. What was it against? Zach, which is. Oh, the Champ Out Week team. So, there's a very good chance that Khan wins this one easily. So he might still have a 4-0 record by the time he does his week 5 battle. I don't know. I mean, Zilix mentioned it before. Like he has a very big weakness to the same attacking types. I'm talking about Zach, by the way. Zilix, if you
Yeah,
recall, it's the 4 fighting types.
which yeah, those weaknesses can definitely be exploited, especially if there's not resist berries happening. I do think though against a Chien Pao, there's a decent opportunity for like a Sash Breloom to revenge kill, or even if there's like Yachi Berry,
Right.
um,
He also has
going
Iron
for a
Leaves. I
Mach
don't know
Punch.
if.
But yeah, Iron Leaves can switch into fighting moves. Great Tusk is going to be eating it up. Orgus has no problem. Embor can take a hit pretty easily. Dusknoir can just be immune. But yeah, Iron Leaves not only resisting Breloom's fighting attacks, but also
The grass.
being immune to Spore.
So I'm pretty sure Khan is the only one that's going into week 5 with a perfect record, and he's facing against who did I say Zen, who right now is on no, where's his record? He's on a downward trend. He's lost his last 2 matches. He's like I said, nobody's had their week 4, so we don't know what the actual records are except for mine and Panda's. I think, or I think Panda might be missing a battle. I think he's missing his battle with Jack, right? No. Did I not? Oh, I haven't marked it yet. That's why. No, he's had all 4 of his battles. So and he's doing good so far. He's a 3-1 right now, so he's doing good. So what was I talking about? Oh no, I was talking about Con versus Zen. That's what it was. Well, yeah, since nobody has full records out there except for myself and Panda as soon as I update it. I don't know how Zen's gonna do in his week 3 match. And
Who does he play week 3 or 4?
Zen plays Jack in week 4, so he's facing the Dragapult and Amorous Corviknight team with his Gouging Fire, Alolan Ninetales, Superior, Tinglu. The Tinglu.
I actually recently drafted Tinglu, and I like it a lot more than I thought I was going to. I was a little worried about its lack of stable recovery, but I think it's just bulky enough that it honestly doesn't matter in most instances.
Yeah. The fact that he has an ability that weakens those special attacks is also good.
Yeah. It can shut down a lot of ghost types very easily. Which sometimes, even if you have a good resistance to them, they can walk away with games like Dragapult or Spectre, which some leagues allow.
But yeah, I don't know. This the battle against Khan looks a little rough though. I mean, against Jack for week 4, that's a toss up right now. But Great Tusk, Chanpao, Florges pretty much do a number on most of his team.
Yeah, and I think I sort of said this as well, looking at Zen's roster, the original preview. But I think lacking some of those higher tier mons can make the team a bit susceptible when going up against threats like Great Tusk, Chanpao. I did see he did make some changes.
He did.
Which probably dropping some of the less useful mons like that Dugong.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think because yeah, with good setup mons like the Gouging Fire, Superior, Alolan Ninetales, I think any matchup can be winnable. It just really comes down to the sets and how you're positioning them. Because when you have a team like this that can run away with a game at a moment's notice, you just need to look and see whichever weakness your opponent has and just try to exploit that with as many opportunities as possible. Right. Because something like Superior in the right matchup can be very difficult to deal with. Now, Chanpao obviously can deal with Superior, but you Terra it the right way, maybe running something like Terra Fighting, or if you're worried specifically about ice, you could do Terra Water, and then that gives you, or rather you would maintain a favorable matchup against Great Tusk.
Right.
As long as you can get behind substitutes, you can maybe maneuver around Raging Bolt, but especially if it's trying to rely on that priority, which substitute would block if you're going for that. even leech seeds as well can be pretty useful in this matchup. I mean, obviously the only immunity is the Iron Leaves, but Gouging Fire is a pretty reliable switch into that.
Yeah.
Even like, you know, Ninetales can come in, force it out, set up Aurora Veil,
For
and
Redraft
now
also
suddenly
has
you feel a little bit safer.
what the fuck is it called?
Sap
Sap
Sipper,
Sipper.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that'll be an interesting match to see. We need to wait and see when Khan's streak is gonna end because he's the only one that right now has an undefeated streak.
Yeah, and certainly has the team to back up a record such
Yeah.
as that. But
You got Great Tusk Chien Pao, busted out Mons. Is there a reason they're so high tiered?
yeah, for sure.
Then I don't know. Is there a specific matchup that you would like to talk about?
Let's go look at the schedule here and kind of compare.
You have
Um,
that is Anarchy's team.
I think Anarchy versus Zach might actually be an interesting matchup. Even though Anarchy's team does have some big hitters like that Bax and Rabambi, I think Zach's team of like mono fighting is actually kind of decent in this matchup. Because the things that would come in to the fighting types, like the Clodsire or the Robombi, can get wrecked by things like Tornadus, or even like Breloom can just put Clodsire to sleep and then maybe set up a sword stance, get behind a substitute, and suddenly become really threatening.
Right.
I think Gliscor might be a problem for Zach unless Gyarados is able to put in some work, because I said it before in the analysis, but Gyarados is just such a great mon this generation. The Terrestrialization really benefits Gyarados, being able to get rid of that quad weakness to electric
Yeah.
and suddenly pull out a powerful stab move, which is something that Gyarados previously struggled with, being water flying, not too many great flying moves that it could use. But in this matchup, you know, a Gyarados, maybe even with a Terra Flying, could be quite good, as the only flying resists are both weak to Earthquake, being that Bastiodon and the Lantern.
Right.
So I could see, you know, that this could be an opportunity where Zach's team might be able to overpower the opposition in this matchup in particular. I do think, however, that, you know, perhaps his lack of versatility may still be a roadblock
Right.
that he'll need to overcome just in a general throughout the league. But this is one instance where I see it being pretty potent. Uh, and, you know, Incineroar may be able to come in and intimidate, but, you know, you're still not going to want to take a -1 close combat from a Terrakion or a fighting move from Komodo as Incineroar, even with the Intimidate. So it's a matchup I think he has a decent opportunity to win, but, you know, Baxcalibur could very easily as well just overpower the offense. And uh, I think both teams are going to try to rely on setup moves, whether it's, you know, getting up substitutes and then boosting up attack and speed, or if it's just trying to come up with a surprise Terra to take out something that otherwise would be a pretty safe check. I think this match will probably end within the first like 20 to 25 turns, though. I think it'll be a pretty
A
quick
slogfest.
match. Yeah, there's going to be knockouts left, right, and center. I would imagine.
Yeah, I can see that.
Are there any matches you have your eye on this
Um,
week?
see. Set. No, that one's not good. Not that it's not good, but I just don't think so. Maybe Sonic versus Mudkip fan. Potentially. Just because I'm interested to see what Sonic is gonna do now that he has all three Paladin starters. I don't know if you noticed that he picked up. He made a switch from Keldeo to Quaquavel, which I don't know how I feel about that switch.
I think honestly that is an improvement. I think Quaquavel, just with its Aqua Step move and Moxie, it's such a good mon. It gets Rapid Spin, Ice Spinner, obviously can throw out close combats, can go for Wave Crash if you need that extra power, and being able to terrestrialize. Similarly to Keldeo, in the past, everyone liked to run Hidden Power Electric on Keldeo to deal with water types, to deal with things like Gyarados that would normally come in and eat it up. But both Quaquavel or Keldeo in this instance could run that Terra Electric, and I think Quaquavel is honestly a better mon this generation than Keldeo, just because, you know, the on-demand setup and how easy and brain dead it is to just click Aqua Step can be really, really nice, especially against this team, Mudkip fans team, as you know, that Primarina may come in on an Aqua Step, but it's probably going to die to a Terra Electric move.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, you get that Moxie boost, you're at +1 speed. There's not a whole lot that can come in and really do anything in return. You know, maybe like a Scarface Elf would outspeed a +1 Quaquavel, or like booster energy on Roaring Moon, but then you would be using that. Roaring Moon comes in, you just swap out into like Quillfish, get the Intimidate, maybe poison it or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
he does have
I also
with Regieleki too, and there's no removals on Mudkip's team.
And not like it's easy to have a great switch in to Ursaluna, but when like Meganium or Gligar is your best switch in to Ursaluna, you're probably in for a rough time.
Oh yeah. Actually, this could be a good team to use Trick Room in, because Monkey Fam does have a lot of decently fast mons. So, in theory, although your only Trick Room mon is Chimecho, unless
does Sinistra get
let's find out.
Trick Room?
Let's find out. Because off the top of my head, I don't recall. Okay. Come on, open up. Sinistra.
It does get Trick Room.
It does? Yes. Yes, it does. Okay, well, then you could use that instead of Chimecho, because Chimecho's ass.
Yeah, and Sinistra isn't horrible in this matchup. It could probably set up a Trick Room against
Meganium, Gligar, Azelf.
Yeah, but if those are on the battlefield, then I think I mean Gligar's not that horrible, but if Meganium is sitting there on the battlefield on a hyper offense team, I think something went wrong. Like something went very wrong to get to that position. Like Meganium design is cool, and that's about where that stopped. But yeah, I think Zonic's team is pretty stacked, and this is going to be a difficult team to manage, especially because pretty much all the offense is fairly bulky as well. Aside from like Masquerada, you know, the top 4 mons can take a hit and then punch back. So,
Actually,
you know, the
Frostmoth,
Roaring
if he
Moon
gets
might
sets
not
up.
just easily get one shots left and right.
Yeah, but like Frostmoth, if it sets up, is also a trouble.
For sure.
There's not a lot of switchings on like Quiver Dance, Ice Beam.
Like maybe Galvantula Sash takes a hit and then you paralyze it. Might be a decent way to deal with it, and then like you go into Golden Go, and I mean you can eat up hits from Frostmoth as long as it's not Terra, probably Fire. What I would run in that instance. Unless it doesn't get freeze drive, because then you'd struggle with Primarina.
No, I don't think Primarina gets freeze drive. I can check, but I'm pretty sure it doesn't.
Yeah, without freeze dry, then you probably want something that deals with Golden Go and Primarina, which is gonna be tough to find something. I mean, maybe you go electric to avoid paralysis from Galvantula. You could take hits from Thunderous better.
You have Giga Drain, but I don't know if you want to waste a slot on Giga Drain.
Yeah, I mean, if you get 2 Quiver Dances up, I think Primarina could honestly maybe even still tank, because it is fairly bulky on the special side.
Yeah. Unless you go for a Hurricane. Rain Dance Electrode with Hurricane Frostmoth. It's a possibility.
Dropping down Thunders with Regieleki.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, he doesn't have a
And then the
Regieleki
Thunderous switches in.
Gligar. Oh no, Thunderous is... Never mind, I forgot. Thunderous
Yeah,
is...
but Thunderous can sit there all day. Volt Absorb it up.
Although you do have Ancient Power, I'm pretty sure. Because Thunderous isn't that especially bulky. If I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's not going to be taking too many hits. But yeah, and I guess Thunderous can't really do a whole lot back.
Although Thundy can Terra, so that is also something. No, I think that's my match for this week. I can't wait to see the 3 fucking starters going at it. Because I'm pretty sure he can easily bring all 3 for this one.
Like 100%, yeah. I mean, Meowscarada threatens Golden Go, threatens Primarina, threatens Azelf.
Yeah, because you have triple Axel now, so you threaten. Actually, doesn't Meow get play rough? I could have sworn. I could have sworn Meow gets play rough.
How do they compare speed wise? Because
Yeah,
I know
Roaring
Moon's pretty fast.
Okay, I'll tell you right now. Roaring
119 on
Moon 119 and Meow is 120. No, 123. So Meow's faster.
Yeah, so as long as there's not a booster energy or like a previously set up Dragon Dance, then yeah, Meowscarada probably foresee it being a lead, maybe against the Gomora. Might U-turn to break Gomora Sash, go straight into Quackable. you could rapid spin and then start setting up like turn 3
Yeah.
would be a potential lead. Or even like I think Hisuian Quillfish gets brought to eat up any toxic spikes that may be put down. Um, Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if there was like a Sash Azelf lead running like Explosion just to almost guaranteed get a kill,
Yeah.
because more often than not, you're probably going to see either Hisuian Quillfish or Masquerada in the lead, and Azelf with an explosion set could be good if it is the Masquerada. If you see Quillfish as the lead, you might U-turn Azelf out and keep that boom for later.
Yeah.
Maybe if like Ursaluna seems to be threatening, you could just outspeed it and blow it up if you needed.
But Meow is definitely gonna be rough in this matchup because you literally you have play rough, flower trick, U-turn, and triple axle. Actually, no, you need to find something for gold. Um, actually, you don't. If you have triple axle, you don't need play rough for moon. So
Yeah.
you could do U-turn, knockoff, flower trick, triple axle, or throat chop. Actually, throat chops might be better than knockoff in this matchup.
Might be nice to have knockoff if maybe there's like assault vest on Primarina and it comes in expecting the dark move. You at least get the item out. I don't know.
I mean, my reasoning for it is maybe if you knock off Golden Go and then it gets a recover off, then you're not hitting it as hard anymore.
Yeah. Throat chop would also disable any sound moves from Primarina,
Yeah. No hyper voice for you.
but not too likely it'll come in since, if Masquerade is not scarfed or banded, it'll just switch up to a flower trick and
It'll definitely be fun. This one's because it's one of those things where like does the moon get set up or does Meow come in and do serious damage and then leave it up for Ursaluna to clean up late game? It'll be fun. It'll be interesting. I think so. So I think that might be my match for this week. Is that's the one I'm gonna be looking at. I'm still waiting for Yodler to show me his business before I start really looking at his skills with this Valiant Latios team. And like this matchup that he's going with is not the best showcase for it. That's why I said it. I didn't think too much about that match, and then like I said, Con versus Zen. It's rough. It's a rough match for Zen here, and Panda versus Jack. I just don't know yet because Jack is still doing catch up, so I don't even know how he's 1-1 right now because he won his week 1.
yeah.
And then he lost to Yoler. So I need to see more from him before I officially can give an idea of how he's actually playing this out.
And I think as more of those battles come in, it'll start to give a more clear picture to how some of these teams have been. I guess more of the choices behind why certain mons were drafted and how they all work together. Something I notice in a lot of draft leagues is you eventually start to notice trends among certain teams, and if you're perceptive enough as a battler, you can pick up on those and try to exploit the weaknesses of others. But some people they know how to switch it up every week, so it'll be interesting to see, because especially with this league where the Terra is much more open-ended, it'll create some scenarios, I think, where teams will be able to come up with a unique strategy that can catch an opponent off guard and potentially create an upset in certain battles, but it's hard to make those calls from a uh, analysis standpoint until you get to actually witness these players in action and see what all that they're capable of coming up with and what suits their style the best.
Yeah. I know I'm making some changes soon because Brian Mogas already did his thing, so I don't really need it anymore.
He served his
He
purpose.
literally served his purpose. Now he's just fucking gone. Um,
Now it's time for him to just ride the wind and be
go
carried off
go into
into the sunset.
future pastures. Actually, I don't have a battle for 2 more weeks because I have a bye week 6. I face Doruk this week and then bye next week, so I have 2 potential switches here. I'm probably gonna get rid of. I'm definitely getting rid of Primal Gas by the end of this week, so I have an extra switch. I'm really, 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 really tempted on getting that fucking Tauros, but who am I facing week 7? I don't know. I'm facing Sonic, so actually Tauros might not be bad in the matchup. Real talk.
Which one?
The fire one. Fire Tauros actually does really good in this match.
Yeah, pretty good against Meowscarada, Skeldurge. Well, you can take a hit from Skeldurge, but not a whole lot you can do back. Good against the Frostmoth, though.
Yeah. Either that or something else. Is there anything else in tier 8? I could drop Treads too, but I don't want to drop Treads yet. It's a good mon. Wait, where's Treads? Oh, right here. 16 points. I don't think it's worth dropping Treads for anything right now. Like looking at what's below it, I don't think I can get anything that's beneficial for replacing that. I don't know. I know if I'm gonna drop anything, it's definitely Bramblegas because he's already done his thing, and then probably Kilowattrel. But if I could get rid of Kilowattrel, I need something that can deal with ground types again. And I don't know if there's anything out there that's worth losing a ground immunity. I'll figure it out. I still have time to think about it. Unless Zilix wants to give me a secret, looking at the available pool of bonds, like, oh, you should definitely pick this up. I'm always open to assistance.
I'm looking at some of the stuff. I mean, honestly, like, Heracross wouldn't be a bad pickup. Give you a ground resist and is a bulky attacker, which kind of suits your team pretty well. It also gives you a very potent wall breaker. But there are quite a lot of undrafted options here.
Yeah.
Even like Swampert could maybe be a decent idea, although
but Heracross is tier 11. I don't know if I can pick it up unless I drop Treads, which I don't want to do. That's the one issue is that Unless I drop threats, I don't have enough points to pick up something like Heracross. And even then, that's not
I
enough.
also don't really. I don't really hate the idea of the water Tauros instead of the fire one, just because it wouldn't be another ground week, and then it would also be an additional fire resistance. Which, I mean, you have Garganackle and Typhlosion, but Typhlosion you don't really want to be switching into too many things.
Yeah.
Where at least Tauros could act as like a pivot, and then it doesn't really add many resistances per se, but it would also give that fighting stab, which is usually a good thing to have.
Yeah.
Gives you something to deal with other steel types alongside Typhlosion, and kind of acts as like a nice complement to Typhlosion, since Typhlosion can deal with things that are bulky on the physical side, and the Tauros could deal with things that are bulky on the special side, go for some bulk ups, and just go crazy with attacks.
Right.
It's a pretty good mon in that regard.
Yeah. Okay, then I might do that one. I know I wanted one of them, but I just didn't know which one. I was thinking the fire one just so I
Yeah,
didn't get fucking steamrolled by Meowscarada, but
true. I guess you just gotta surprise it with something.
yeah.
Maybe. I mean, honestly, Screamtail wouldn't be terrible because you can take a hit, and then depending on what it gets proteined into, you can fire back.
Yeah. Honestly, he has so many physical attackers in the top half that a physically defensive Screamtail might not be bad.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okie dokie. Well, I think that's it. I don't think there's anything else that we need to talk about in terms of the league because, like I said, I wish that people had had their battles so we actually had something to look at and analyze. But people were like, "Nah, we're not doing battles this week." I'm like, okay, word. I see how it is. Um,
Gotta get on people, start
yeah.
scheduling for them.
No,
Like,
I
all
might
right,
just
what
have to.
time you guys going?
I might just have to. But I think that's gonna be it for this stream. Thank you once again, Zilix, for showing up. Like, hopefully we can become consistent with this shit, because things have been just all over the place.
Yeah.
But I think we're gonna leave it off there. Zilix, any final words? Any last things?
Get your battles done.
Get your battles done. Let's go. He said it. It's time. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. This has been SoresanCrockxen with my boy Zilix. And we'll see you guys in future videos, streams, and all the other in-betweens. Later.
See ya.